Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more 9-rep, continuing Kureha's route. We're in chapter 9. Maybe we'll get our godly ending in this part. I don't know, we'll see. So, we're getting close to it, but no matter where we looked, we couldn't find the boy, and so we descended the stairs. Where could he be? We looked everywhere. Kureha seemed deep in thought and didn't respond right away. Then a realization seemed to strike him, and he turned to me.
Wait, didn't Hibiki let that boy into the mirror world?
I was taken aback by his suggestion. So you think he might be in the mirror world? We'd avoided the central stairs while searching, knowing Hinagiku was in the mirror. Passing by the mirror might trigger her curse, which was a risk we weren't willing to take. Let's go check it out. I grabbed his hand, but Kureha didn't budge.
I think it's safer if you stay here.
After everything, you're still saying this? Besides, I need to confront Hinagiku to get her name anyway. But we know her name, so... Kureha hesitated briefly, then began to walk alongside me, but maybe me knowing her name is not the same as her telling me. Thank goodness, I couldn't handle being told to stay out of it again.
Whatever happens, I'll keep you safe.
He tightened his grip on my hand, and I held it back just as firmly, sorry. We're coming to the end now. Is that the game telling me? With our hearts filled with tension, Kureha and I approached the mirror. Arriving at our destination left us stunned because the mirrors turned pitch black. What's happening? Where's Hibiki?
That's probably the Wraith's doing. Dark energy is flooding the mirror world.
So because we trapped her in there, the darkness is even denser than normal? I imagined the thick darkness within and felt a chill run down my spine. I'm really scared. But I knew there was no going back now.
Ready?
Yes. I knew Hinagiku might be on the other side. I still wish we'd spoken to the boy beforehand.
I'll go in first and look around for a bit. You wait here for now.
I nodded, watching as Kureha stepped into the mirror. After a moment, I cautiously followed. Stepping into the mirror world, it felt familiar. Yet the air felt denser, likely due to Hinagiku's presence. According to Hibiki, the mirror world could have been swallowed by the other realm, so we'd better be careful. Let's start looking for her.
I had a feeling you'd come.
A voice echoed from below the stairs, and I turned to see the boy we'd been looking for. I quickly approached him. As we reached him, the boy bowed deeply.
Both of you, I'm sorry. For everything.
He looked up, his eyes filled with remorse. I sensed his sincerity, and yet...
How do you know Hinagiku? How do you know me?
Kureha's voice was wary as he questioned the boy.
I once served at the Sukagami estate. That's where I met Hinagiku.
So, that's what I at least figured that.
That makes sense.
Yes, and just as the boy was about to continue, a wave of dizziness hit me, but thankfully Kureha was there to steady me. I've known for a while now, but it seems my time here really is running short. Let's just die here and stay. Spacey is the ghost that haunts you. Just stay. Let go. You don't want to go back to the real world. You want to stay and play with your dead boyfriend. Right? Given my condition, we decided it was best to continue our conversation in the nurse's office. Kureha gently laid me on the bed, and the two of them stayed close by my side.
There's not much time, so I'll be brief.
The boy then jumped right into discussing the details of the divine invocation incidents.
As I mentioned before, Hinagiku and I both served at the Sukagami estate. Being about the same age, we would often talk together at work. Most of the other servants were much older, making our connection unique. We could talk about anything together. Friendship came easy to us.
Then Yui Tsukigami oh, Jesus Christ, oh, fucking bird feather flight in my face.
Then Yui Tsukigami disappeared. Isao Tsukigami frantically searched for his lost daughter, gradually losing his mind as he did so. He secluded himself in his study. Other servants told us he was obsessing over stories of spiritings away. The other servants sensed a dark change in him and started resigning one by one. But it made no difference. Eventually they were all dismissed. Everyone except Hinagiko and I, that is. We were left behind. We were to be imprisoned. I was an orphan and a live-in servant, which made me an easy target. Hinagiko had a brother, Kureha, but Isao knew her disappearance would be overlooked. Despite his madness, Isao Tsukigami remained a powerful man. He could sweep the disappearance of 2 young household staff away. On the day we were imprisoned, it seemed like any other day at work, but Hinagiko and I felt something was off. The absence of other servants was eerie. Though we dared not question our master, given his unstable state, so we continued to work as we normally did. That's when Isao Tsukigami gave us a rather chilling order.
I need this room cleaned immediately.
I obeyed, not suspecting a thing. Who knew that room would become my prison? That was when it all began. While I was in prison, those days passed uneventfully. Luckily, Hinagiko's room was right next to mine, so we could talk through the wall. We plotted our escape, but as time went on, we heard more and more voices coming through the walls. Isao Tsukigami imprisoned not only us, but a number of others, too. I later discovered he'd kidnapped them. As days passed, things only grew more ominous. The first victim was Hinagiko.
Interesting.
As for her, if you regain your memories, Kureha, there's no need for me to elaborate.
How does the boy know what happened in that room? I mean, you know, well, he didn't really know what happened. He knew that Kureha broke in, so he probably heard things happening.
Soon after that, someone new was brought to Hinagiko's room. It wasn't her. I knew instantly. It was a man who kept muttering to himself.
Probably Hibiki.
I feared I was going insane.
Oh, do you think it was Kureha? He wasn't dead? Oh, or is this the boy?
What happened to Hinagiko? The question consumed me.
Okay, no, it was the kid. I was like, it said somebody muttering to himself, and I'm like, I assumed it was Hibiki, right? Because Hibiki only remembers 5 people, because Hinagiko died before he got... So that answers that question of like, that seems odd. And it's like, no, she was murdered before he was kidnapped.
I tried desperately, futilely to hold on to my sanity. My time came soon after that. I was sacrificed in the ritual. Then as a ghost, I was reunited with Hinagiko. Strangely, I was relieved to die. Given the circumstances, death seemed a mercy to me. With nothing to live for, I thought about quickly crossing over, but that became impossible. I can't cross over.
Oh.
I can't cross over. My brother's become a wraith. I need to save him. Hinagiko told me all that happened.
My brother harbors a grudge against Isao Tsukigami and roams this mansion.
As Hinagiko said, your murderous rage against Isao Tsukigami caused you to attack him with your blade while he was in the study. Your blade, though, couldn't harm the living. Ironic, isn't it? Wraiths forget everything but the anger that caused them to become one. Such is the power of vengeance, of hate. Your hatred for Isao Tsukigami only intensified after that. And then one day Hinagiko came up with an idea.
I wonder if she's the one who locked Hibiki in the mirror. Or, you know, created the mirror for him.
I'll curse and kill Isao Tsukigami. But we're ghosts. That's impossible.
Watching my brother, I realized something. Anger strong enough can turn into a curse.
That made sense to me. It seemed as though Kureha would one day be powerful enough to curse Isao Tsukigami. The hate must need to be so intense.
Oh. And then is she laughing, or is he? Somebody's like,
Hinagiku?
murdered with my brother, my only family. I assure you, my grudge is no ordinary one. I did my best to contain it for my brother's sake, but my rage matches his.
In that moment, something black and sinister flowed from Hinagiku's body. I hugged her, trying to restrain her. Stop! You have to fight this!
Thank you, but I can't hold back any longer.
But cursing Isao Tsukigami doesn't guarantee you'll save Kureha. And even if it does save him, you'll still be a wraith.
You saw my brother, didn't you? That monstrous form? He won't recognize me as a wraith. He'll cross over believing I already did.
But
I want you to cross over too. I want you to find peace.
I can't do that. You know how I feel about you.
Were they in love? Because that's adorable. He seems like a very, like, she said a young boy. I'm assuming he was, like, younger, like 10. Unless, like, they're both young. Like, whatever, but I'm sorry.
Please don't do this. There has to be another way to kill Isao Tsukigami. We'll find a way together.
And while we do that, my brother might kill Isao Tsukigami. If that happens, he'll be taken to hell.
Hell?
I've had to hear the ghosts speak of it. A place where those who do harm to others are taken.
And then you...
In life, my brother protected me. He cared about me more than anyone else. Now it's my turn to protect him. Kureha, I'm sorry.
Oh, Kureha, I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stop her.
Please keep my fate from him. Don't tell him what's become of me. Then why did he forget? Forgive me for this last selfish request.
And then with a faint smile,
your love meant everything to me.
A lone tear fell from Hinagiku's eyes as she vanished into the shadows.
The boys seem so much younger, but I'm guessing like maybe they were like 14 or 15, or he looks like a kid. I don't know. His shadow just looked younger than like teenage kid, but he was a teenage kid, I guess.
She had turned into a wraith.
I mean, I guess I should have I guess I kind of knew that because, like, he's taken the classes, so he had to have been at least high school age or whatever to find, like, you know what I mean? But still. When he finished speaking, the boy gazed at Kureha.
After seeing Isao Tsukigami cursed and killed, you collapsed. When you awoke, days had passed since his demise, and astonishingly, you'd returned to your original form. My theory is you weren't fully a wraith yet. That might be why you were able to return to your normal self. However, you lost your memories because you'd partially transformed into a wraith. I suspect the trauma of seeing Hinagiku killed in front of you forced your mind to block that memory. Including all memory of her. Hinagiku.
His voice quivered as he whispered her name. It's kind of tragic and sad. We know they had to have a tragic backstory. I rose and silently took Kureha's hand. Kureha, I hope you can come to terms with this. I prayed the words silently as I held his hand. The boy's gaze lingered on Kureha, clouded by sorrow. Perhaps a part of him resented Kureha for forgetting all about Hinagiku. He must have struggled, honoring Hinagiku's wish while seeking for a way to bring her back. It reminds me... Gathering my courage, I softly spoke. The boy turned to me. Did Hinagiku go to hell? How was it that she was able to come back here?
Yeah, she served her sentence and returned here. Even those who commit terrible crimes are given the right to cross over, but she remains a wraith. She was punished for her crimes, but they didn't return her to her previous form.
I see. It would probably be better to ask Seiya.
Her cursing her murderer was deemed just, so Hinagiku's punishment was brief. But rehabilitating her back to normal has taken far, far longer.
Back to normal?
First, you had to remember Hinagiku, Kureha. You needed to confront the truth without becoming a wraith yourself.
So he selfishly did this. But also kind of like for her. That's kind of sweet, though. Aww.
The goal was for you to reach out to her. If you could do that, Hinagiku might be able to return to her former self.
Like... So he wanted that's why he, like, seemed all devious and whatever and was like, no, he went down there and, like, yeah, you should go down there and, like, whatever. And it seemed like he was all devious and being evil. He kind of was in a way, but not in a bad way. He was being devious to get Kureha to confront his memories and figure out the truth. And he's like, he's in love with you, so if you're with him, then he won't turn into a wraith. You might be able to stop it, and then we have a chance to save Hinagiku. And that's actually kind of sweet. Can't blame you for trying, sport. You know? I was beginning to understand the plan. Kureha had been silent, but then turned to face the boy.
It's my turn to save Hinagiku, then.
Saying this, his grip on my hand tightened slightly. I'm so glad Kureha's taking this well.
I theorize that maybe Hinagiku, like you, hasn't fully become a wraith yet. That explains why she doesn't harm other ghosts. Wraiths, driven by their loneliness, often lash out at other ghosts for attention.
Oh, I thought they said wraiths kind of leave him alone, but I noticed that too. Once another wraith attacked me, crying out in loneliness. When Hinagiku attacked, she only pleaded for Kureha's memories to remain forgotten. So Hinagiku isn't lost to darkness yet. Until now, the hope of bringing Hinagiku back seemed bleak, and that's why she's like, I'm not any different than that man, because she cursed him to death the way he, like, tortured people. But the thing is like, yeah, but, like, you cursed him to die and suffer because he murdered people. You weren't just doing it for no fucking reason. Hinagiku, Kureha's little sister. When they worked for the Sukigami family, she was confined in the mansion by Isao Sukigami and murdered. She became a wraith for Kureha's sake and killed Isao Sukigami. That's adorable, though. Since then, she has wandered as a wraith, but she wasn't alone. A boy supported her. Well, the nameless boy. I'm so glad we talked to this boy first. I renewed my resolve with a sigh.
Why wait until now for me to regain my memories?
That was something I couldn't understand either, because he was going to turn into a wraith without the power of our love to keep him grounded. Duh! Idiots! I'd always assumed it was to stop Kureha from turning into a wraith. But why now? I looked back at the boy.
Because, Kureha, you found love. I was waiting for you, Kureha, hoping you'd find someone to stand by your side. With the support of someone else by your side, I knew you could endure the truth and not turn into a wraith.
So I was the reason. Duh. That's what the kid fucking said before. Listen, I'm an idiot, and I figured that out before these two dumb fucks. Dumb fucks. Chuckle fucks.
And it seemed my judgment was correct.
It filled me with joy to realize I had become the person who could support him.
Kureha, if you became a wraith, then there would be no way to save Hinagiku. That's why I've been so careful until now. I'm so relieved it turned out this way.
Don't you want to ruffle his little ghost boy hair?
I truly do care about Hinagiku. Hinagiku means a lot to me too, just as she does to you.
Kureha released my hand and stood up. Then he bowed to the boy.
Thank you. Thank you for loving Hinagiku.
For the first time, I saw Kureha act as the protective big brother he was.
This is our first real conversation. I'm happy to see you're a good person after all.
Kureha looked up, encouraged by the boy's words.
I've trapped Hinagiku in the underground altar to buy time until you arrived, and so, please save Hinagiku. Do what I couldn't. I'll just be in the way if I join you, so I'm going to stay behind.
Huh. Before I could speak up, Kureha placed his hand on the boy's shoulder.
All right, let's go. You're coming with us. No, really, it's fine. I won't be of any help. Because you stayed by Hinagiku's side, she managed to hold on to herself, even as a wraith. At least that's how I see it.
I agree. That's exactly why we should stick together. We all have to save Hinagiku. All of us.
Thank you. All right, let's go.
The three of us set off to the basement. Sweet. Before descending into the underground altar, Kureha firmly reminded me, do not look into Hinagiku's eyes. Given that her gaze could curse me, I was only in danger if our eyes met. I'm pretty sure that's right. At least that's how it's been this whole time. Here she is, shortly after we entered the dimly lit altar, and just as the boy mentioned, we found Hinagiku there. Don't look at... Doesn't she kind of look like Mr. Oogway with like a creepy contact on and a scary wig. I'm just saying, she's got like creepy turtleneck, like, you know how like old turtles have like the leathery little like necks like this? Like leathery, like jowly neck, you know, what are they, like, you know, tendon necks, you know? And like toothless mouths, like she kind of like a creepy Hi, what are you shrieking at? Are you shrieking at the monster? Don't look at the monster. Don't look, it's scary. Don't look. You're not supposed to look, you're just baby. I know you're 10 years old, but you're still just a baby. Actually, that's not true, because you're like a third of the way through your life, technically. You could live 20 to 30 years, so technically you're a big boy. You're a big boy as you are, but you'll always be my baby. Anyway, she didn't conceal her fury and started channeling negative energy toward me immediately. But Kureha intervened. Hinagiku! For a moment, Hinagiku ceased. It was as though her body was frozen in time. So part of her is still in there. Hinagiku, I know you can hear me. That's me. Your brother. Her guttural cries resounded throughout the area. Hinagiku! Kureha crying out her name seemed to push her back. He then grasped Hinagiku's hand. Hinagiku, please, come back to us. Hinagiku seemed to struggle, trying to break free. I kept my eyes cast down to avoid her gaze. So fucking creepy. You're just staring at the floor and then she just slides in from above. Nah, man. It's funny but disturbing. You could tell it was happening. You're like, no, dude, that is not cool. That's a little disturbing. Then somehow Hinagiku's face came into my line of sight. What? And her eyes locked. She had contorted her body enough to enter my field of vision. Oh, no. Kazuma, brother, words began to enter my head, coupled with screams I couldn't process. Hinagiku, stop! Don't hurt her, please! Even though I could still hear Kureha. Oh no, I'm getting pulled in. At this rate, No. I can't give up now. I made a vow to Kureha and myself to guard my own mind. My vision grew hazy as I fought to stay conscious. Wow, I was like, I forgot? Hey! I realized the boy from before was supporting me. Meanwhile, Kureha was attempting to restrain Hinagiku. I'm sorry. Close your eyes. If she's like, our eyes might close them. You need to get out of here. Quick! Without waiting for my response, he began guiding me up the stairs. Even as we ascended, the sounds of Hinagiku's anguished cries and Kureha's calls to her echoed behind us. While climbing, I tried to steady my thoughts, contemplating the curse from Hinagiku that had infiltrated my mind. In those memories, I thought I heard the whisper of a delicate girl. The boy helped me all the way to the library. Then he brought over a chair and had me sit down. Thank you. You saved me. I'm sorry. I should have been more aware of our surroundings. It was my own fault. I thought I was being cautious, but I ended up looking directly into her eyes. Despite this, the boy appeared distressed. Feeling that any attempt to comfort him might be futile, I simply told him what was on my mind. But I did come to one realization. While receiving the curse, I heard voices whispering in my head. Yes, Hinagiku was among them. And among those voices was a girl's. This is just a guess, but I think it might be the voice of Hinagiku's consciousness. Huh? Really? He moved closer so suddenly I couldn't help but chuckle to myself. I think she was saying something like, Brother, please help. That has to be Kureha. What a relief. What a blessing. Also, she mentioned Kazuma. Is that someone's name? Oh, is that him? Because I saw the Kazuma and the brother help, and I was like, who's Kazuma? Didn't think about him. The boy's face froze, his gaze drifting. That's...
That's my name.
The boy by the name of Kazuma fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. Kazuma, a boy who worked as a servant for the Sukigami family. Just like Hinagiku, he was imprisoned in the mansion and then murdered. When alive, he was fond of Hinagiku. Perhaps it was thanks to Kazuma's earnest feelings Hinagiku was able to prevent from becoming a wraith. Earnest feelings Hinagiku was able to prevent from becoming a wraith. That's an odd sentence, but we get what it means.
She remembered me. Hinagiku.
They were tears of joy, and I could tell his heart was filled with love and relief. I reached into my pocket, pulled out a handkerchief, and offered it to him without a word. Kazuma looked up, thanked me, and accepted it. Suddenly, Kureha burst into the room.
Are you okay, Spacey?
Yeah, I'm fine. How's Hinagiku?
She's still below. No matter how much I call out to her, she just screams wildly. I've closed the door so she won't get up here.
Let's try again. This time with both you and Kazuma calling out to her. I looked at Kazuma, who nodded back at me. In his eyes I saw a flicker of hope. This time it might just work. This might be our final attempt. I'm not sure if my body can endure much more. Kureha seemed about to speak, then stopped himself. Kureha?
Could you trust me and stay here for now?
Huh?
If you're there, Hinagiku might unleash her curse. I need to prevent that. I can't risk losing you.
Kureha. His concern touched me, but we couldn't leave the other realm and return to the mortal realm without me being there. I understand. I'll trust you and wait, but let me keep an eye on you from a distance.
Thanks. I promise to bring Hinagiku back to her senses. And then the curse should lift and you'll be able to talk with her.
I guess Kureha had already thought this through. I felt reassured he had considered every angle. Of course he would. His sole focus this whole time has always been getting me back home safely.
Stay hidden in the shadows near the stairs and keep watch. Got it?
Yeah. And without delay, we all sprang into action. As directed, I hid behind the shadows in the stairway and watched silently over them. Hinagiku still looked restless as she mowed about with her eyes, scanning in every direction. Moved about with her eyes, wow. She would notice me if I wasn't careful. Nervously, I made sure to remain out of sight. Kureha and Kazuma approached Hinagiku, and she immediately ran away with her back to the wall. The fear displayed by the wraith was proof that Hinagiku's consciousness was still intact. Otherwise, she would have just immediately attacked them.
Hinagiku, please hear me. I'm...
Hinagiku's piercing scream... Well, that wasn't a piercing scream, but whatever. Overpowered any words Kureha attempted to convey. I trusted Kureha not to succumb to becoming a wraith, and yet perhaps the flood of memories tormented him as well. Hinagiku darted toward Kazuma and seemed to seek refuge behind him, but...
Hinagiku, please listen. Kureha's come to terms with everything. You don't have to live in the darkness anymore. There's no need for you to linger in the shadows.
Hinagiku raised her gaze to meet Kazuma's, then slowly turned her attention back to Kureha.
Hinagiku...
He gently grasped Hinagiku's hand, causing her to shake intensely.
I've recovered my memories. I recall every detail from that day. I regret I'd forgotten for so long. I'm sorry for leaving you all alone.
Kureha delivered those words to Hinagiku with patience and sincerity.
I've returned to my true self. I won't turn into a wraith. You don't need to worry anymore.
I hope Hinagiku will understand. I put my hands together and prayed from the shadows.
You're not alone anymore.
Hinagiku, please.
I'll always be by your side.
Please listen to Kureha's words. It's really not fair that she gets to have her brother by her side at all times, but I can't have my boyfriend by my side at all times because I'm going to go back to being alive and he's going to stay dead, and that just fucking sucks!
So please wake up.
Please see him with your own eyes.
Yes, I am your brother.
And then... Is she gonna turn back? Then a radiant light filled the underground altar, and the oppressive darkness seemed to vanish. As the light faded, the wraith was gone. Instead, a beautiful glowing orb floated gently in its place. Is she going to cross over? Anna, Kiku, brother, thank you. Thank you for remembering. I missed you so much. How I longed to hear you call my name.
Lena Kiku, forgive me for taking so long. I couldn't remember, and I...
But I feel so happy now. Please, there's no need for you to apologize. What a relief. I'm so happy for them. Kazuma.
Hinikiku.
Thank you, Kazuma. You being by my side, it's the only thing that helped me to keep myself in the darkness. It was agonizing, almost suffocating, and at times I felt I might be lost to the darkness. But you're what saved me. Thank you. That's so sweet, adorable.
I only did that because I wanted to be with you, Hinikiku. I'm just relieved you're back. I'm so thankful.
Gradually, the boy's form began to fade.
Hey, if you feel the same way about me, will you cross over with me?
Yes, of course. I'll cross over with you.
That's wonderful. Well then, let me know when you've said goodbye to Kureha.
Goodbye to Kureha. After the boy disappeared, Kureha approached Hinagiku.
Hinagiku, there's someone here to meet you.
Hearing this, I stepped forward, a bit anxious. I owe you an apology. I'm sorry for all the pain I caused you. Do you remember everything? Just bits and pieces, but I'm grateful my brother was there to protect you. Though I couldn't see her face, her voice was warm and genuine. No need for apologies. I understand, Hinagiku. Thank you. The orb seemed to bow gently toward me. Seeing that, I couldn't help but smile. And so I proceeded to ask her, I've been meaning to ask your name. Well, I guess I already know it, but I wanted to hear it from you. I need it to restore this place back to the mortal realm. Sorry if this isn't a good time. I'm not sure I understand all the specifics, but if that's what you need. After a brief pause, Hinagiku spoke. My name is Hinagiku. Thanks to you, I was reunited with my brother. I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart. Brother, I'm going to leave with Kazuma now. I'll be waiting for you on the other side. Though, take all the time you need. Huh?
You always were perceptive. Yeah, you go on ahead. I'll probably be a few decades before I catch up with you.
After saying that, Kureha turned to me.
I'll be here, and then we'll go together.
I suspected Kureha intended to wait until my life ended before crossing over. That's kind of adorable and sweet and romantic, but like, we gotta live out our whole fucking life all alone, waiting to die to be with him. That's so sad. Actually, I'm sure that's exactly what he intends to do. He'd watch over me in life and then join me when my time came. Then I'll be waiting for you both. I mean, at least we'll get to be in the afterlife, but like, we're young. She got like 80 fucking years left without him. Oh, that sucks. He's like, not if I push in front of a bus. Gradually, Hinagiku faded away. Then it was just the two of us. Kureha came closer and extended his hand with a warm smile. I reciprocated the smile and accepted his hand. Can we have a real fucking kiss now? Then, after exiting the mirror, Kureha mentioned the place he wanted to visit, so he headed to the nurse's office. Saying he didn't want to intrude on my goodbyes, he waited at the entrance instead. Yui was in the nurse's office. I told her everything that had happened. I'm so relieved you wrapped everything up. I wish I could have been more help in the end, so I guess she wasn't evil. But like, whatevs! Yui, you've been a big help. Thank you for everything. I grabbed her hand. I'm just saying you can't blame me for being slightly sus. Yui tried to pull back, but I held on tight. Don't worry, Yui. There's no darkness in you. We may live in different worlds, but I'm glad to have a friend like you. She finished my sentence before I could. Together we both laughed.
No fair. You can't interrupt me and say it first. I was doing a thing. I'll be supporting you, Yui. I want you to let go of your regrets. I don't want to see you still here when I get here. Thank you. That means so much to me. I'll also keep an eye on you from the shadows. Our smiles met as we parted ways. After leaving the nurse's office, I glanced up at the central stairway with the large mirror. Hibiki... Since he hadn't returned, I couldn't bid him farewell, but my time was almost up. Thank you, Hibiki. That's true. Where did he go? He just, locked the wraith in the mirror and disappeared. At the entrance, I found Kureha waiting for me. Kureha... I called his name, and he responded with a warm smile. This is it. Our final moments together. Suppressing such thoughts, I pulled the sheet with the corpse flowers illustrated on it. I'm about to look at the printout. I think all the flowers should be colored in now. I had folded the sheet, and just as I suspected, all the flowers were colored in. You better give me a kiss, CG, you motherfucker. Uh-oh. For a fleeting instant, I thought I saw the corpse flowers quiver. I actually did. They were only pictures, but for a moment they seemed almost alive. Silently, I brought the sheet closer to my face. You don't have to wait for me. You can cross over. I'll meet you on the other side. Well, now I have to wait. I have a new regret now. But I never got to spend my life with you. Stop it! You can't do this to me! Fuck! I'm gonna cry. I had a feeling things would turn out this way. I said nothing and merely smiled at him. Tears filled with a mixture of joy and sorrow clouded my eyes. I mean, Jesus, I'm almost there too. Thank you for loving me, Kureha. I'll always watch over you with love. I'll be here waiting, Spacey. Tears rolled down my cheeks, not from sorrow, but overwhelming joy. Until we meet again, these feelings will remain in my heart. I truly love you. Kureha gently wiped away my tears, and I savored this final tender touch from him. You better give me a kiss, CG. Oh my god, yes. No. Close, but no cigar game. God damn it, it's still beautiful, though. It's still fucking beautiful. I need to memorize this moment. Your warmth, the feel of your skin, and your gaze. Indeed, you should. Keep those memories close. Who knows? I might end up living quite a long life. We could hope not. That's such a horrible thing to feel, but... I'm looking forward to seeing the life you lead. Spacey, always remember, in joy and in sorrow, I'll always be by your side. I hate this so much. It's beautiful, but it hurts. I'll always be near, forever wishing for your happiness. Absolutely. I'll never forget. Even if I can't see you, Kureha, I know you'll be there. You're the only one for me, Kureha. I can't be with anyone else. And with your love, I know I'll never feel lonely. And that's the saddest part. Oh. Sorry, but I'm quite glad to hear that. A gust blew from the printout in my hand, and I was enveloped in the scent of flowers. Looks like our time is up. Until we meet again. Now, go and enjoy your life. Yeah, here I go. As if on cue, the printout began to glow just as I finished speaking. We didn't even get a fucking kiss, CG. He kissed us, but we didn't even, and not even in this final moment did he kiss us. Is this the credits? It is. Okay, I have to turn them off. Because it said, wait for the credits to finish. So I'm guessing you can't skip them and then, it's kind of a pretty song. But, I mean, it's I guess you can't, skip it and then, I would assume you could skip and then, but it says wait for them to finish. So if I skip the credits, do I miss the end scene? You know what I mean? Or, you know what? Because, most games, there is an after credit scene.
but then you just click and it'll take you to the next scene. But like, I'm worried that if I don't do that, like, just because of the note, you know what I mean? Wait for the credits to finish. So, like, if I skip them, then, like, is that, like, I'm getting distracted by the music and by seeing his adorable face. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think I've tried to say this about like 42 times. We never normally have to wait. If you click the button to skip through the credits, you just get to the next, you get to the after credit scene and it goes on. But this makes it seem like if you do that, it just goes back to the menu. Or unless she's thinking that people will like go, boop, go back to the main menu and then you miss it. I don't know. So it's just really weird that this notation's there. But because the notation's there, I'm going to make an assumption and I'm going to see if it's going to be like that for everything. It does kind of suck when you have to like wait through all the credits, like for every like route and everything like that. So I'm curious. I'm going to cheat and like open Hibiki's route just to, we also have a bazillion endings. Just go to the end and see if it says anything at the end. It doesn't actually do that. Interesting. So Hibiki's doesn't, it just goes, huh. She does Heavenly End for Hibiki first. That's interesting. Let's see. We'll see that after. Okay. So maybe the other ones don't have an after credit scene? Upon returning to the mortal realm, I was greeted by daylight for the first time in ages, its brilliance making me squint. I can turn the normal music back on. That's too loud. That's it's a little bit louder than we normally do, but it's okay. I'm back. I was suddenly overwhelmed by profound exhaustion. And at the same time, a hunger and sleepiness overtook me, prompting me to collapse on the spot. I feel too weak to move. I was certain that Kureha was still nearby, anxiously watching over me. I longed to get up off the floor, but my body had reached its breaking point and refused. Hey, are you okay? That voice, is it my teacher? Footsteps hurried toward me, and I felt my teacher lifting me up. Ishiki, where have you been all this time? Let me call you an ambulance. Thank goodness. My teacher's worry showed that I had indeed returned to my former life, and you've been missing for a while. Then everything faded to black. I don't like coming back home. I was taken to the hospital and was made to stay for a few days. I received many tests, but the doctors couldn't find anything wrong with my health. The mark on my face was completely gone. When Hinagiku regained her sanity at the altar, I felt the darkness dissipate, so I assumed the mark disappeared then. It was fine up to that point, but as expected, I had been considered missing, and I was then found 9 days later. My mother, sister, and Sayaka all scolded me. Then they all cried. They looked at me funny when I said I was caused by a god. But unlike the others, Mom blamed herself. It must have been because I didn't listen to you during that phone call. She wasn't completely wrong. Was this what the god wanted? The god wanted me to fall in love and then rip my boyfriend away from me? I hate this! I don't hate it as much as when they force babies on me in games. We know this. But I still don't like it. It hurts. After I was discharged from the hospital, things calmed down. I was surprised when Mom told me that I was free to choose whatever school I wanted. It seemed almost disappointing because I had made up my mind and was ready to fight. And for the time being, it seemed that strange chapter of my life had come to an end. As the classroom glowed with an orange hue, Kara, the sound of his blade. This was the true story of Kara. At school during sunset, Kara continues to roam. My beloved. At Narimigahama High, they say there are 7 wonders who have lived for generations in the school. He's one of them. In the twilight, as the sun casts its last glow on the school, he stands by my side, with a smile warming my heart, watching over me. I smiled, and Sayaka, who had been listening, smiled back at me. So that's the real story behind the Kara rumor, huh? When I had finished my time in the hospital, I returned to school and told Sayaka all about the strange events I'd experienced. Sayaka believed every word, though I always knew she would. That's why you have a friend who's a little kooky and believes in all the occult stuff. It was the one time her fascination with the occult actually proved useful. So it's true then? Reading too much can lead you to be spirited away. Then maybe it'll happen to me someday. Did you say something? No, nothing at all. Anyway, thanks to you, there are fewer than 7 wonders now, right? Yeah, I suppose. But they've crossed over, so it's for the best. Oh, the girl's toilet mystery is gone now. That morning I placed a caramel down as an offering to Hanako. I hope she received it. It's a good thing that they crossed over. Actually, that wish-granting book thing being true was a huge surprise. Maybe we should try looking for it. Yes! It won't be so easy. It was more of an exception in my case. Right, I guess the circumstances were just right. But your wish never came true, right? Huh? No, the book told me its name. I don't really think that counts as a wish. I mean, that was like a trade. You told it your name, right? I do have a wish. I want to know your name.
Ha! That's a first! A human who wants to know my name! Sadly, that's not a wish I can grant. We spirits keeps our names secret unless there's a special contract involved. I won't tell you for free.
Aha. But then there's a last choice, and I know what the last answer is, and that explains. It could be we go find the book. I never realized it, but Sayaka, you're right. Yeah, I forgot about cram school again today. See you tomorrow, Spacey. Oh, and next time before you get spirited away, talk to me, okay? That's what friends are for. Right. I'll be sure to get your advice next time, Sayaka. I always feel better when I talk to you, and I'm sure things will get better. I acknowledged Sayaka's words as she responded with a smile. Absolutely. I'll help clear away any gloominess you're feeling. Or it'll, sorry. Sayaka slung her bag over her shoulder, ready to leave the classroom. She then paused at the door and turned back to me. Hey, can we chat again tomorrow? Of course. I'm here to listen anytime. Thanks. Talking things out with you, maybe I'll come to terms with these changes too. Well, see ya. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Take care. I watched Sayaka leave, then looked around the now quiet classroom. Kureha, did you catch that? With that thought, I began to pack up. You could just leave little notes for him, because then he'll see them. I left the classroom and headed to the library. It's time to start thinking about which school I'm going to go to. I was still unsure about what I wanted to do in the future. Well, at least I still have time to figure it out. Thanks to everything I'd experienced, I was able to have a different mindset. I'd met the dead and learned the joy of living. My future was open with possibilities. I wanted to embrace a life without regrets. But my regret is that I left my ghost boyfriend. I hate this. Is this the way they're all going to be? Reaching the library, I noticed a shelf filled with university pamphlets. Guess I should take a look at these. Did I just hear something?
The book! Yes!
Curious, I turned toward the sound and... There it was, the red book, the one that granted wishes, on the floor of the library. No way. Tentatively, I reached out and picked it up. Could it be it's here to grant a wish now, since it didn't before? My hands shaking, I opened the cover. The pages, blank and unmarked, offered no clue as to its intent. But soon words slowly began to materialize on the page.
I didn't grant your wish before. Now's the time.
A brush materialized above the book.
Yes! Now, your wish?
It's just like before. Swallowing hard, I took the brush in hand. I wish. Allow me to see spirits. Yeah, that would be bad. Exactly. That's why this is the right answer. Allow me to see Kureha. Oh. Forever. Okay, we're going to save here. And then we say that, because I'm assuming allow me to see spirits is a bad end. Like. Alright. Allow me to see Kureha. I inscribed those words in the book, and immediately they faded away. Then both the brush and the book vanished into thin air. Huh? Could it be a wish beyond its power to grant? Maybe it's time to head home. The whole ordeal sidetracked me from considering my school options, so I simply left the library. And what I mean by I want to see Kureha is not this one time. I want to be able to see him forever. Because, like, allow me to see spirits is like, allow me to see them forever for the rest of my life. Like, I want the spirit sight. I want Kureha's sight. I want to be able to see him wherever I go, wherever he is. I want to always be able to see him. As I walked toward the main entrance, my mind wandered through a myriad of thoughts. Because that's kind of, okay, I don't love it, but it's not bad. If we get to, it's not just a one time we get to see him, because it's like, yeah, we might not be able to touch each other, but we could see each other and at least maybe be able to communicate. And then, like, then I know he's there and then I'm not as lonely. We said that we could live with that. You know what I mean? And it's not 100%, but I'll give it like 75. Maybe seeing Kureha was too much to ask for. But what if I had chosen a different wish? That sound. I definitely felt a strange presence. And with it a sudden chill. But we can't kiss.
Oh, there you are. Still haven't gone home yet.
That voice, we can hear him. Oh my god. Okay, maybe it's like 80. It's still not 100, but it's like 80. Okay, I feel okay. I spun around to see the very person I longed to see. Kureha. Tears welled up in my eyes. It's really Kureha. I yearned to call out to him, but words failed me, trapped in my throat.
Strange. It's almost as if you're looking at me. And why you're crying? Did something happen?
He's got it all wrong. He doesn't know. Overwhelmed. Didn't he see us write in the book? Overwhelmed with emotion, I couldn't help but laugh. A torrent of pent-up feelings came bursting forth. I'm crying because I can see you, Kureha.
What? You mean you can actually see me?
Yes, clear as day. I missed you, Kureha.
What's going on here? This is some kind of miracle or something.
That's right. Looks like I've sparked another miracle.
You're always full of surprises.
Kureha took another step toward me.
I missed you, Spacey.
Yeah, me too. I reached my hand out to him, but my hand merely passed through him. But that was fine. At least we could talk to one another and gaze into each other's eyes. That in itself was a miraculous dream. And from here on out, I could pursue the life I truly wanted. But we didn't get a kiss, CG. It's so disappointing. Godly end, 8 flowers blooming. Well, there you go, guys. That was our first fucking ending of this game. And you know what? Oh, I never imagined I'd become able to see you. I was just as shocked when I first spoke to you. You really did catch me by surprise, but I'm looking forward to what's to come. Oh, right. I haven't said it since we were united. Ahem. I love you even more than I did back then, and I'm sure this feeling will continue to grow. So I want you to be ready to accept all of my love, okay? I'm assuming that's him saying it, but that's beautiful, and I love that so fucking much. I kind of want to cry, because, like, there's a beautiful ending. It's not perfect, because we don't really get to be together, but we can kind of be together. Like, we get to see him, but we can't touch him or anything, and it's like, oh! It's like 80%, though. I'll take it. And it is kind of bittersweet, and, like, whatever. I'm assuming memories is where the photos are. Okay, well. Oh, yeah. Okay, and oh. They're little shadows. How cute. Well, what's in the other? Oh, it's adorable. It's so cute. I really hope we get one of these in, like, every route where, like, there's always me and my ghost boyfriends. Oh, I still would love to have stayed in our thing. I mean, sure, you know. And so I'm assuming that's for our other ending. A CG isn't our other happy ending. All right, let's see if this one does it. Okay, hold on. There's 2 versions of this, right?
Oh!
Okay, my only problem with this. Okay. Bravo game. I hate it. If you know, if you've been here forever, you know, but if you're new here, I hate it when they have like multiple versions of CGs and you hit the A button and then you want to hit the A button again to say cycle through the same one and it treats it like the back button and you go back to the menu and you're like, son of a bitch! Because then you have to remember how many there are. You know, if you don't want to have the little, well, this one at least shows you that there's 2. That's kind of cool. It's got the 2 little dots. But you then have to have the text and stuff on the bottom. So you want this. So I don't like it when the A button acts as the back button. But when you hit the A button, it only goes to the first one. But if you hit the Y button, it goes back. So I like that. It's like A doesn't just go next, and then loop through. You have to go A and Y to go back and forth. But so I'm cool with that. That's cool. As long as the A button doesn't act like a fucking back button. I hate it when they do that. I hate it. That's sloppy, bad coding. No, bad developers. Bad. Because you want to just scroll through and be able to see this CG and see all the different versions and then go to the next one and be like, oh, is there a different version for this? Yeah, there is. Oh, look, they're happy now and that's adorable, you know, and like sad and concerned and then happy and it's beautiful and like, oh God, I love it. Oh God. Oh. Look at his little face. He's so adorable. I mean, I guess that's kind of a kiss, but it's like he's kissing her cheek. So it's not really a kiss. It's still pretty, don't get me wrong. You know, I want to read her thoughts and everything on his route and whatnot, so. Yeah, terrifying. You gotta like, this, I'm scary, angry, half-wraith, and then this is like, whoop! He's like, scary eyes, but they're shocked Pikachu scary eyes. It's kind of a little ridiculous. Oh, this one's beautiful, though. Oh. I really do especially like the transition of the colors, because it's seriously almost like, even though, like, say the Mirror Realm was all blue, and then the world that we were in was, like, red, whatever, but it's still very much like we're from 2 different worlds. Like, you can see the color almost splitting us apart, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's so fucking tragic. I'm like, oh, this one's so sad. I mean, that's a cute one for first meeting. That's adorable. They're all like, oh, look at his little face. He's so sweet. This one is really pretty. That one's like ridiculous. Oh, look at the way he's gripping her hair. I love it. That one's a little scary. This one's, I think, seriously, like, as sad as it is, in a way, like, look at how beautiful he is here, though. But at the same time, like, oh, I don't know. They're both so good. Oh, they're both good. But this one's almost sad. And like, oh, they're both really good. But you know what? I think almost, I like the other one. I think it's slightly prettier in general overall. But the look on his face here is just so precious that I love it. So, but anyway, so we go over Karakar, the murderous spirit lurking in Narimigahama High School, dragging his katana through the school corridors, creating an eerie metallic sound as it scrapes along the floor, or at least that's how his rumor goes. Though he's a terrifying reputation, he's actually a gentle ghost who's straightforward with his feelings, kind, very humble. Ironically, despite the rumors of him being bloodthirsty killer, he's quite the scaredy cat and not a fan of horror stories. So, okay. So, Atome Kitten's a longtime Masuda fangirl who's his voice actor. Okay, so great. He's also been in a lot, he's been in like other anime and stuff like that, but I don't see anything else game-wise, aside from like, I think it was B Project, but that's not out yet. It is being localized, but we can't play it because it'll have music in it. But anyway, it's a good anime though, I'd watch it. I haven't watched it in a while. Anyway, played Kureha's route first for obvious reasons, because she loves him, and I'm glad that I did. I feel like his route sets the tone for 9-Rip with its spooky, spoopy vibes. There's a few jump scares, which to me as a horror enthusiast isn't really anything to be quite honest. Honestly, I didn't really, there's a lot of spooky moments like, oh, okay, but I don't think it was really jump scares. You know what I mean? But what's her face? Hinagiko's sliding her fucking head underneath. You're like, oh, that's a little disturbing. There were some like moments where you're like, oh, that's a little creepy. But like, I don't think there were really jump scares. But like, you know, if you're not good with even a teensy bit of jump scares, be forewarned. I didn't really think it was that bad, though. Kureha's route is as spooky as the game gets, so it's best to temper your expectations if you're hoping for a truly horror-like experience. Okay, So, because I mean, like, I got like, oh, there's a little spooky, creepy kind of vibe going on, but this is as spooky as it gets. So fair. To be honest, I found Kureha to be such an adorable love interest. Agree. Kind, gentle, very upfront with his feelings for the heroine. He was generally supportive, and I loved seeing his point of view, which shows how happy he was just being around her. I absolutely agree. 100%. You saw me. Unfortunately, much like Kureha's katana, this route seemed to drag its feet to the floor. I didn't really get that because, like, as being the first route, I kind of feel like it's setting the stage for the game and we're setting a lot of the common stuff. So I didn't really feel that way about it too much. So it didn't bother me anyway. Took a while for a story to actually unfold to get a nitty gritty parts. Yeah, well, she didn't mind this because more for her screen time for her boyfriend. Her VA boyfriend. I could see how others might find it boring. I didn't at all, though. To be fair, I think it was actually decently length. I'm gonna let these cycle through a little bit as we're like looking through. His ends were also among the bittersweet ones in the game, though most of the endings for 9-Rip tend to fall into that category. Well, now we know, there you go. That's the expectations for this. It wasn't heavily showcased in his route, but I do think Kureha has one silent himbo to boot. He gets quite airheaded at times, and it's so cute. Yeah, because her bullet points are silent himbo, not a horror enthusiast. And the spoilers for his route, so we've already done them. I feel that his route's plot could have taken a better direction, especially at the end part. Perhaps I'm also a little peeved that my favorite character ended up getting the short end of the stick in the game. Who knows? I placed his godly end first in my walkthrough because I felt that ending was happier than the heavenly ending. Okay, so the heavenly ending is slightly... I mean, they're both supposed to be happy ends, but... Okay, that explains too when I looked at Hibiki's to see if we had to wait for the end credits. You don't? Though this can be interpreted differently depending on a player's preferences, I recommend playing both endings so you can decide. Well, obviously, we're going to play everything. Side note, I really hope in the sequel... Are they making a sequel? Did they already... I think they did, didn't they? Did they already announce that? Before this even came out, localization, did they already announce a fan disc? Or is it just one that everyone was hoping for? Fuck, because now I'm like, are they getting one? Because I'm excited already. I think they were, and it was like, yeah, we don't even have the regular one out, but I'm already excited for it. I feel like I remember that, or I'm just pretending I remember that. I don't know, but anyway. Characters like Kureha, who had bittersweet endings in the first game, get better and more satisfying routes in the next, because damn, I actually think all the characters in 9-Rip are good, and I feel bad that some of them won't get as much love as the more popular love interests, all because their route sucked. I kind of feel that way too, because I know that there's other characters that people are like, oh my god, he's best, but this is great, blah, blah, blah. And I've seen people mention, I think it's Koyo, who actually is like the bowl cut hairdo, like the worst hairdo in the game, to be fair. I think a lot of people love him, and I think it's Minami who is the one who's like cutesy and adorable, but looks like a little adorable vampire. And I'm sure Pretty Boy Yukimaru, I would say. But those are always usually the popular characters, you know what I mean? The long, glorious, locked one. Everybody loves the long hair, beautiful boy. And you know, then you have like the cutesy baby face one. Everybody always loves the cutesy babyface one's always one of the most popular. And then, you know, another character that I'm like, about. I don't know why he wouldn't be, because honestly, eyeball-wise, Seiya absolutely was my favorite. The second time I'm like, oh, you are just so mysterious and sus as fuck, and I love it. He's gorgeous as shit. But Kureha's another one of those. Like, Seina's another one. He is, like, absolutely beautiful. You know what I mean? So there's a couple that I, off the top of my head, was like, those three were, like, the pretty ones to me. And so, like, I don't think his route sucked, though. But I get it if his ending was definitely, like, bittersweet and kind of sad, and you're like, oh. But it's not what I want, to be fair. I want, like, happy in us together, and it's beautiful and wonderful. I don't care if that means I had to die and stay here. Toad's fine with that. But I will be honest, I still loved it a lot. I still like it a lot. I still love him. I'm slightly disappointed because it's got a bittersweet ending, but at the same time, I feel like I should have known what the fuck I was getting into because, you know, we're dating ghost boyfriends and like we're getting spirited away and you knew it. Like, how is this going to work out? Actually happy where like, I'm not dead and my family and friends aren't all sad. Fuck my family and friends. I don't care if they're sad. Am I the only one who's like, it's not reality in a fantasy game? Like, sure, my sister and my mom and my best friend will be sad, but like, whatever, I'm happy with my dead boyfriend. But now I gotta like live my whole fucking the next 80 goddamn years? Like, and like, oh my god. Okay, hold on, bird. My bird's gotta go potty, so, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah. So it's kind of like not the best ending in my mind, but it's still 80% because it's still beautiful. We still get to see him. We're not sitting there going, oh, I know he's following me around. I know he's there, but I can't see him. It's like, no, we can see him now. We asked the book to be able to see him. We can see him. Here he is, and it'll have to be good enough. But I'm kind of sad that thinking that if the heavenly end is not as good, or it's a little more bittersweet than this, I don't know, but we'll find out next time, because we will do the heavenly end, and then we'll do all of there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3 bad ends, because we already got the mother bad end by accident. So, yeah. So we'll do all those next time and wrap this part. So I will see you next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.